Bills meeting for January 20th, 2015. Will you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time we'd like to introduce the board members, starting on my left.
Sumit Shah.
Todd Chernick.
Gary Willis.
Walt Recook.
Any adoptions or amendments of the agenda? If not, we need a motion to approve as written.
I make a motion to approve the January 20th, 2015 agenda as published.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as written. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passed unanimously. We need approval of December 2014 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the December meeting minutes.
Do we have a second?
Go ahead.
Yes, abstain. He was there.
I was there.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve the December 2014 meeting minutes. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passed 3-0. He has one abstention.
Well, will that vote count?
Yes.
Yes,
Majority of those present.
correct. The Board of Zoning Appeals is a quasi-legal board composed of resident volunteers of the city.
I'm sorry, is the mic on?
Yep.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome. The board is charged with hearing requests for variances from the standards of the zoning ordinance and appeals of administrative determination. With regard to decisions on primary variances, the board's basis for decision is provided by these four considerations. A, relief if granted would not offend the spirit or intent of the ordinance. B, there are such extraordinary and exceptional situations or conditions pertaining to the particular piece of property that the literal or strict application of the ordinance would create an unnecessary hardship due to size, shape, or topography, or other extraordinary and exceptional situations or conditions not caused by the variance applicant. And C, relief if granted would not cause a substantial detriment to the public good and surrounding properties. And D, that the public safety, health, and welfare are secure and the substantial justice is done. That brings us to variance number V14-019. Angela, will you please present?
Mr. Chair, the applicant, Thailand International, has requested to formally withdraw their variance. Guess they're going to work on a new design.
You have that in writing?
Yes. Well, the withdrawal, yes.
Yeah. And their request for it. And what are the implications of them withdrawing? Can they reapply?
They can.
All right.
Do we need to make a form of any motion when we act on this so they don't have to wait a year?
No, they don't have to wait a year, only if you had denied them.
Okay.
It was 6 months.
So, but we could take an action of denial tonight.
Technically, I haven't presented anything to you, but
Do-
technically,
Do we need to have to make a motion?
to approve, yes, to accept the withdrawal.
Okay, go ahead.
I make a motion to, for V14-019, to accept the withdrawal request from the applicant.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? We have a motion and a second to accept the withdrawal of V14-019 from the applicant. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passed unanimously. Brings us to V14-023. Angela, will you please present?
Yes, sir. The site 3250 Longstreet Road is a .765 acre lot with an existing abandoned single-family residence on it. The property is zoned AG1 and is located in the rural Milton overlay. Staff notes, this is a legal non-conforming lot. The City of Milton attorney has stated that it is our position that the legal non-conforming statutes of the lot in question pursuant to Code 64-74-1 does not impact the ability of the owner to repair, replace, or expand the structure on the property. There is an existing well on the property which the applicant intends to seal. Michael Basile proposes to demolish the existing residence and build a new single-family home. The home would possibly include a breezeway and a detached garage. Property zoned AG1 requires 60-foot front setback and 25-foot side setbacks. Triangular lots do not have rear setbacks. As it is, the required front setback would encroach halfway into the building envelope. Mr. Basile is requesting a variance to reduce the required 60-foot front setback to 30 feet. This will expand the buildable area of the lot and allow the new house to be placed at the same distance from the road as the existing one. Section 64-1069 2B states that the front yard setback for property zoned AG1 is 60 feet. Since the applicant wants to reduce the front setback and construct a home located 30 feet from a right-of-way, a variance is required. Section 64-1141A1A states that a single-family lot adjacent to an exterior street shall include a 40-foot undisturbed buffer and an additional 20-foot no improvement setback. This is known as the rural view shed. Since the proposed house will encroach into the 40-foot buffer as well as the 20-foot no improvement setback, a variance is required. The rule on December 2nd, 2014, the DRB offered the following comments. The rural view shed applies to this lot. The design of the new house should be subject to the architectural review by the city architect. Concerned with the house that is that close to the road, wrap the house around the back side of the maple, make the front of the house narrower and extend it further back. Is it possible to flip the layout, put the septic up front and the house in back? The maple shall be examined by the city arborist to determine if it is worth saving. Move the house back as best you can. Staff held a focus meeting on December 4th, 2014, at which the following comments were provided. Building plan review had no comments. Site plan review. The applicant will have to obtain approval from Fulton County Environmental Health for the septic system prior to issuance of a building permit. Architect. The proposed house will be located in the required 60-foot rural view shed. The architecture should be reviewed by the city architect. The new house shall be in the historical farmhouse style to include horizontal siding with water table, an 8-foot deep porch on piers, brick or stone chimney, carriage-style garage doors, metal roofing, at least at the porch, exposed rafter tails at the roof, and brick or stone walkway and steps. Arborist. The applicant should work with the city arborist to develop a landscape plan suitable for the rural view shed. DOT stormwater. Right-of-way to the north and south of this parcel is shown as 30 feet from center line. Additional right-of-way is not required as part, actually that should be 60 feet from center line. Additional right-of-way is not required as part of a demo or building permit, but this typical right-of-way of 30 feet from center line would make the setback to the building 14 feet. So in other words, the property to the north and south has a 60-foot right-of-way, and Mr. Basile's property has a 30-foot right-of-way, and they're not asking for an additional right-of-way, but that's just a perspective on where the building is going to be located. Standards for consideration were read earlier, and the applicant responds as follows. The property is triangular in shape, precluding typical home designs and size commonly sought after by families moving into Milton. The adjacent setbacks converge at the rear of the property, reducing the building envelope further. Reducing the setback would free up more than 5,000 square feet of building envelope. Suitable soils for the septic system, including the primary field and reserved field line areas, are located within the building envelope. A 25-foot circular setback is required from the well to the septic system. There is a 26-inch non-specimen maple within the building area. Although a positive variance could not guarantee its survival, it would be directly in harm's way otherwise. The spirit and intent of the ordinance cannot be offended because the request is based solely on non-self-imposed extraordinary hardships. Rarely does the property afford all of these issues simultaneously, with none of them self-imposed. There can be no detriment to the surrounding public and properties because the applicant is seeking to replace an inhabitable and unsafe structure, clean up the trash and debris on the remainder of the lot, increase the safety of the neighborhood. Substantial justice will be done through securing the public safety, health, and welfare. Staff response. Although the existing house is 30 feet from the right-of-way, no other structures on Long Street are that close to the right-of-way. If the spirit and intent of the ordinance is to promote consistency, this request is not supported. The small size and triangular shape of the lot create a non-self-imposed hardship for locating a new house. Staff would like to save the non-specimen tree located in the middle of the lot, so this is another hardship. Still, locating the house 30 feet from the road is a self-imposed hardship since there are other locations for the placement of the house. Also, the footprint of the house can be made smaller than what is proposed. There was formerly a house in that location on the property. Historically, farmhouses have often been located close to the road. The new house should reflect the historical farmhouse vernacular and should include siding, a porch, metal roof, and a brick chimney. Examination of the soil map indicates that the majority of the lot contains Pacolet soil. This soil is suitable for the location of the septic system. The ideal location for the house is where the the non-specimen tree currently stands. However, this is not the only possible location. Historical precedent would support a farmhouse close to the road, but there are no other similar structures currently on Long Street Road. Substantial justice would be done by allowing use of the property, but limiting the type of structure that can be built. Recommended conditions. Should the board choose to approve the application, staff recommends the following conditions. The design of the new house is to be reviewed and approved by the city architect. The house shall be designed in the farmhouse style and shall include horizontal siding with water table, 8-foot deep porch on piers, a brick or stone chimney, carriage-style garage doors, metal roofing at least at the porch, exposed rafter tails at the roof, and a brick or stone walkway and steps. The new house shall be built outside of the drip line of the 26-inch maple. The applicant should work with the arborist to develop a landscape plan appropriate for the rural viewshed. Staff recommendation. Staff recommends approval with conditions of the request to reduce the front setback to 30 feet and approval with conditions as stated to encroach into the rural viewshed. This concludes the staff presentation.
Thank you. Any questions from the board to staff? Yes, sir.
I have two questions. Angela, the 26-inch maple that's noted in the recommended conditions,
Yes,
is that actually a non-specimen tree?
it is non-special. I don't remember what the cutoff is. But the arborist,
It is non-specimen.
I think it's noted earlier in the report that it's non-specimen.
it's non-specimen.
So why is it a recommended condition to save this tree? And I see earlier there's reference to it's in the ideal location relative to the septic location.
Well, it's in the ideal location. If the tree wasn't there, he could put the house literally on top of it and he wouldn't have to worry about encroaching into the setbacks. But it's very close to being specimen, and it's as far as, from what I've been told, it's in decent shape, so if at all possible, we would like to save it.
We meaning the city?
The city staff.
Is it
All
I mean,
right,
I'd like to see it safe too.
Hang on.
all right, we'll talk about that. And also, I'm curious, why such stringent requirements regarding the style of the home and being a farmhouse style?
Because the house that's there now is pretty small, and we understand it's not gonna build something that small, but we don't want a brick mansion that close to the road. There is historic, as I said in the staff report, historic precedent for, a farmhouse type of style being that close to the road, but you don't want a massive 3-story brick structure that close to the road.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Those are my only questions.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Again, on the architectural comments, I think the majority of the comments you're making are really predominantly if it's viewable from the street. If carriage-style garage doors, if they're located so you can't see them from the street, if they're at the rear of the house, and he's got a portiche and you drive under and you go to the back, why would the type of garage doors matter?
Well, they would be, the carriage-style doors would be consistent with the house, so if you're gonna do it, you might as well make all the details consistent, and I don't think he's proposing a portiche. I mean, I don't think he has room to do something like that.
And then same thing, if you've got the horizontal siding with the water table, again, if it's viewable from the street, in other words, if it's the back of the house and you wanted to put brick or something else all the way up, and again, looking at some of the type of southern style homes I've seen, you have a brick back there where you may even have a fireplace that's double sided on both sides of the house, but if you have siding, it's very hard to have a fireplace that is on the back side of the house. That's an exterior fireplace. Does it matter if it's not viewable from the street? I think that's the kind of comment I'm just trying to make throughout, is that, that's a big issue. And then same thing with the brick or stone chimney, and again, if it's viewable from the street. In other words, does it have to be brick in the interior of the house where nobody would see it, versus on the exterior of the house where I think you would see it? Then that I could understand. Like in my house, I've got brick on the inside and I've got siding on the outside. So I'm just trying to understand, when I hear brick chimney, that means that's a $10,000 cost for a brick chimney to go all the way through the house. I don't
we
know
don't
if that's
care
what you
what's-
really mean.
What it would be in the interior. We
That-
don't
that's right.
dictate what goes on.
Well, I
in the
know, but it
interior.
doesn't say that. That's
Well,
where,
all of these are exterior comments.
okay, and that's what I'm saying. If it's the exterior of the fireplace, that's what I'm saying. If it's all the way down through, then it's a bigger cost. And same thing with the brick and stone walkways. Again, if they want to put shirt or something on the back, area, or they have a patio back there and they want to use something else, I don't think I'd care. No one would see it. Again, if it's seen from the street, I think that's a different matter. So that's the only thing I'm asking. Is that, isn't that the intent, is if it's viewable from the street?
The walkway would be, that's referring to the front. The water table, usually whatever you do in the front, you do all the way around. So, if it's brick, that's fine. The chimney, the farmhouse, it's would be historically correct to do a brick or stone chimney. Again, we don't care what it is on the inside.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So if I put that comment, if that was something, I don't know, we haven't heard from the applicant, but I'm just trying to
Yeah,
understand.
let's wait on that till we.
Okay.
This time, we'd like to invite the applicant forward, and if you'd please state your name and address for the board, we'd certainly appreciate it.
Certainly, Mike Basile, 14210 Birmingham Highway over in Milton. You guys got it all covered. I don't know. I only want to address a couple things that I think you guys had mentioned before. for the outside, if you just kind of implement the word veneer, I think that's what they're talking about, just a brick veneer. They don't want siding on the chimney. I mean, that's kind of an 80s thing that is not very authentic looking. The rest of the conditions I don't have a problem with. The tree is going to be what it is. I don't have a plan right now, nor do I have an owner. If an owner rolls up and's got a plan and this is what we want to build, and if the tree's in the way, the tree's in the way. Even if it were a specimen tree, if it were in the way, it would just, that's the way life goes. It'd be a little more costly for, the landscape plan at that point. But I'd like to save it. It looks good. Or if we can trim it up and work around it closely, that would be, I'd rather have that. To me, it looks like a selling point to have a nice tree in your backyard, than, so that's why I want to scooch everything forward to the road where I have a little bit more room in the back. And of course, the house that's there is exactly where it's sitting, so. But mine will be new without ferns growing on the inside. That's what I'm trying to do.
Any questions to the applicant from the board?
So are you looking to build a spec house, or are you waiting to find a buyer and building to their?
Either one. Right now, it's just a dump, and I know the family that's selling it, and that's how this whole thing started. And so I just want to go in there, but before we move anything, I clearly want to make sure that I'm covered to replace at least what's there, so I don't jackpot anybody, including the owner. I don't want that. So, but at this point, no, it would be tear down, clean up, regroup, get with Bob, get a plan approved, and have something at the ready, and possibly build immediately. But I think I've got some people that are interested to do something, but I've been holding off pending this. I don't want
Are
people
you the actual owner of the property?
No, I'm contracted to buy it. I'm an applicant for the owner.
Okay. I'd have to ask the city attorney to weigh in as far as the standing of the application without being the owner.
90%.
That's a good question.
I just want to make
Most
sure whatever
cases
we
I see
decide.
with variances, a lot of times it is
It's-
the applicants.
I mean, typically, it's not unusual for a jurisdiction to have that. I have to look into,
Additionally, the contract is pending this, so that it's subject to this variance, or it
Okay.
goes back to that
This
landowner.
is all
with
good
that.
background. I just want to make sure that whatever we decide tonight is durable, right?
Mhm.
Did you build in some homes in Bethany Green?
I sure did.
Yeah. Okay.
Warren Ward's in there too. Why, are they good looking or not good looking?
Mine might be one of them. The name sounded familiar.
Do you live in Bethany Green? Whereabouts?
Bethany Green Cove in the cul-de-sac,
In the cul-de-sac.
second cul-de-sac at the back.
In the back. So you come in. We used to
Did
live.
you have the house up on the hill?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Built that one. The clubhouse, lot 1, 2, 3, 8, 7. Our show house was the brick house down on the hole down there. If you know the All Goods by any chance?
Yep.
Yeah, that was our show
Okay.
house there.
The house on the hill is the one I remember. We looked at that one. Didn't buy it.
It was sold.
Yes.
Sir.
You heard some of my comments about the type of house. Am I misinterpreting what was heard at the design review board? Is it, they were mostly talking about the exterior of the house as viewed from the street.
Correct.
Is that what you want
They're in your
this to
places
say,
for
or are
the
you
signs.
agreeing to just the way the wording is right now?
No. I'm presuming that we're talking about the exterior, the look of the house. They were looking for a farmhouse, an authentic looking something. The inside is going to have the fit and finish of everything that's around town right now, but they just don't want, four-side brick, And I agree. It's not my favorite look. And I actually have a degree in historic preservation, so I have no conflict with that. I don't mind that look at
So
all.
you don't care whether it's brick or stone walkway, either the front of the house or the rear of the house? Doesn't
Well,
bother-
I'm going to put something on every exterior wall regardless. It's going to get.
No, I'm talking about walkway. They're saying that you have to use a brick or stone walkway and steps on the house.
And I was presuming that to be in the front, but again, I don't even have a
That's not
plan
what it
yet.
says. It just says brick and,
About the front.
Okay. That's not what it says. It
We'll
says,
clarify it. We have the,
Okay, okay.
It's a recommendation.
well, I understand. I
let's
just
not
want to make
get all
sure
weighted
that,
down yet.
and,
Word.
and then also, have you talked to the arborist about the landscape plan?
No.
Do you know what the rural view shed's architectural landscape plan is?
No.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, then you need to ask questions. Because I have, and I've implemented it, and I was aghast. So that's what you're gonna have in front of your house.
Well, I mean, is it prohibitive? I mean, I don't know.
No, it's fine. It's just not, it's a woody type of look. In other words, it's a mixture of plants. It's not a 3 trees, 4 shrubs. It's a mixture of things. It's,
I mean, does it look like scrubland? Because I don't want that.
that's what you're gonna get.
It's just
That's what
like-
they want. They want it to look natural, so that natural to them is a mixture of,
Oh, it looks natural now.
so it's a mixture of everything.
Yeah, it's pretty natural. It's got
So-
swamp water. It's got,
That's what you're gonna get.
can I work with Bob on that? I mean, is that something that's hard to test? Or
I think if we approve it like it is, you're gonna get the
It-
rural view shed landscape plan.
The recommendation is that the applicant work with the city arborist to come up with an acceptable landscape plan.
I can do that.
Okay.
The point is, we don't want a wall of Leland cypresses down the street.
For Iliagnus.
You won't get a row of anything.
Well, and that's fine. You know, as long as it looks good. I don't want it to look junky. Go through this whole thing and then come up with a crappy curb at the end. That's
I'm
okay.
sure that you and the city arborist can figure this out and have it look just the way you'd like it to look.
I suspect so. So
I'm sure the two of you can figure this out.
we're open to just talk about
Yeah.
that. I mean, yeah, Bob's a reasonable guy. So
Good luck.
I think you'll be fine.
Are you still looking, in response to the question about the standing, 64-1935 specifically references standing. Subparagraph 2 says a request for a variance may be initiated by the property owner of the subject property or its agent. And he's listed, let's see, Mr. Basile is listed as a representative of the owner in the application. So I don't have any problem with it. It's fairly common.
Does the owner actually have to sign off on him being the representative?
She did.
They-
She signed the application.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir.
You
can
bet.
have a seat. As there is no public comment, you do have the opportunity to make a closing statement if you would like.
Do we have any letters from adjoining owners, just out of curiosity?
It looks pretty rural.
The north is the Manor Golf Course, and I think there's one neighbor to the south.
Look at the neighbor.
So no letters?
I've not received any.
There's a pond.
Yeah, if you look at the pictures on the back.
Oh, I know, I've seen it.
Okay,
I feel confident it'll look a heck of a lot better than it does right now.
thank you. This time I'd like to close the public hearing. Any questions to staff? If not, the floor is open for a motion. Yes, sir.
I'll make one. Make a motion to approve petition V14-023 to reduce the front setback from 60 feet to 30 feet and to allow encroachment into the rural view shed with the following conditions. The design of the new house is to be reviewed and approved by the city architect. The house shall be designed in the farmhouse style and shall include the following features which are viewable from the street. Horizontal siding with water table, 8-foot deep porch on piers, brick or stone chimney if it's viewable, carriage style garage doors, metal roofing at least at the porch, exposed rafter tails at the roof, a brick stone walkway and steps if viewable from the street. And the applicant shall work with the city arborist to develop a landscape plan appropriate for the rural view shed.
You forgot the tree.
I omitted.
Okay,
Non-specimen.
okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Where was your first viewable from the street? You had two of them. You had the brick stone walkway and steps, and the other
All
one?
of these features.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
the original one started out within the
All
general
of them,
portion
and
of it.
emphasize those.
And then it was reiterated on one of the,
The house
The
shall be
chimney
designed.
and the walkway, I reiterated.
Shall include, yeah. Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve V14-023 to reduce the front setback from 60 feet to 30 feet and to allow encroachment in the rural view shed with the following conditions. The design of the new house is to be reviewed and approved by the city architect. The house shall be designed in the farmhouse style and shall include the following features that are viewed from the street. Number 1, horizontal siding with water table. Number 2, 8-foot deep porch on piers. Number 3, brick stone chimney. Number 4, carriage style garage doors if viewable from the street. Number 5, metal roofing at least at the porch. Number 6, exposed rafter tails at roof. And a brick stone walkway and steps if viewable from the street. The applicant should work with the arborist to develop a landscape plan appropriate for the rural view shed. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same side. If you turn your yellow form in, congratulations. Good luck.
And realize it says should work with the city arborist, not shall.
That's right. He's kind of a crafty guy. Angela, does this include the demo? Is that all approved? Is that another,
The
Yeah,
demo
yeah.
is the DRB.
which is what we went through with
Have you applied for the demo yet?
all of that was supposed to be with this. That's why I gave you the demo drawing and all that. And then-
Well, it's two separate permits. There's a separate permit for the demo itself that was done to Nakia. And then to.
As far as an approval for that, is this,
No, this doesn't have anything to do with the demo.
I guess I still have to go through that whole ordeal?
Have we taken the demo to the design review board yet?
I thought that we had all of that encompassed in one.
I'll have to
Separate
look
into, we were
tomorrow.
gonna demolish it.
All right.
Sounds good. That's it?
Good luck.
Good
Good
luck.
luck.
Keep on building in Belton.
Absolutely.
Any consideration or appeals, Angela?
We have a couple more.
Oh,
We have cases.
sorry. V15-001, will you please present?
V1501. Staff would like to request that this variance be deferred into the February meeting. The applicant has gone back to his architect and is working to incorporate some comments from the design review board.
Any questions? We have a motion?
Make a motion to defer V15001 to the next meeting in February.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? We have a motion and a second to defer V15-001 to the February 2015 meeting. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. It passed unanimously. V15-002, Angela, will you please present?
Again, Mr. Chair, staff would like to request that this variance be deferred into the February meeting. We had some miscommunication about the variance sign, and it didn't get posted in time, and so we had to postpone it.
Thank you. Questions? We have a motion?
Make a motion to defer V15002 to the February 2015 meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor of deferring V15-002 to the February 2015 meeting, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Passed unanimously. V15-003, Angela, will you please present?
And one more time, staff would like to ask that this variance be deferred until the February meeting. the applicants are working with their engineer to see if they can minimize some of the buffer impact. I'm gonna give them that time.
Any questions to staff? We have a motion to defer.
Make a motion to defer V15003 to the 2015 February meeting.
We have a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor of deferring V15-003 to the February 2015 meeting, raise your right hand. Opposed, same side. It passed unanimously. Now we're consideration of appeals. Angela,
I have none.
any old business, Angela?
No, sir.
New business?
Per the request of the board at the last meeting, I did a little spreadsheet to look at the attendance. My apologies.
Thank you.
Messing up your last one.
Now, according to this, you didn't miss any.
I know. Must be less. Do we get perfect attendance pins?
Yeah, you get a nice certificate.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Is it 3?
What are the numbers? I mean, are there any numbers on how many that you should make through the year, or do we have any?
It's in there in the bylaws.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Did you? Yeah, he started in April.
Right.
Your numbers are skewed.
So he just, he
This is the way it reads in the bylaws. Section 1, Article 4, Section 1, member duties. Pursuant to Chapter 2, administration of Article 3, city advisory boards, commissions, and authorities of the City of Milton Code of Ordinances, board members are expected to attend 2/3 of the regular and special called meetings in a calendar year. Failure to do so warrants removal from the board in compliance with the procedures established in the City of Milton Code of Ordinances.
Would a special call meeting also be the thing that we had to attend as far as hearing the public, what was that meeting you had where?
Training?
Training.
No, I didn't count.
I did mine online.
I don't think I have.
I think there's only an impact with one.
So we have this
Individual.
information.
So, by the code, which of these are in trouble?
As I'm reading this, I believe that based on the 2/3 and the full set of 12 meetings, that would mean they would need to attend 8 meetings. And I believe Mr. Shaw, while he is showing for 7, he did not come on the board until, was it April? Was that the first? Yeah. So, I mean, he clearly 7 out of 8. The only one that I see that falls below the 2/3 threshold would be Mr. Hilly. According to this information, he's attended 5, and I believe he was on the board the whole year.
Go ahead. And is this something that somebody contacts him, or does somebody contact his city council?
There's no formal process at this stage. There would be a process by which I believe the city council would take action pursuant to, it's Chapter 2, which I don't have. Hang on, let me see if I do. No. This board could take very informal action, just, hey, let's see what's going on. It could take a formal step of a letter to Mr. Hilly. It could request that the information be passed on to someone You could adopt the resolution to do something. It's kind of, you figure out what level of formality you want to.
I suggest that we just give them a notice, whether that be us or his city council, representative. I think you just need to at least go ahead and put him on notice once, so that he knows now.
And I'll add one thing. It's like that's not to say that the city council can't take action regardless of what you do or do not do.
Right.
It's
Do other boards do these kind of calculations, or are we the only one doing this?
No one else has asked. We have had this issue with one other board, but we're the only ones that have asked.
I think the uniqueness with us being quasi-legal is now, this is, that I can recall in recent memory, this is the second or third meeting where we've had to function with 4 people. And that
Scary.
makes it tough.
And not having, and Nancy
The
resigning.
vacancy,
well,
yeah.
Doesn't help.
So we're really, yes.
Doesn't help. Because we had 4 last month.
I know, and I think we've had 4, maybe, yeah, so it's, the point is, it just creates a strain that's unnecessary.
I guess my only question to staff would be, since we're all appointed from city council, and there isn't anybody here that has more authority than anybody else on this board, should it be either the city of Milton or the city council person that contacts and goes from there? Because I'm not sure, unless somebody on this board wants to step up and make that call, I'm not sure how you all want to handle this.
Oh, it clearly puts us in an uncomfortable position.
Yes.
We are
Right.
very, we collaborate a lot together, so it's a difficult conversation to have for any of us.
Right.
I think I agree with Sumit in that Angela should just make him and his council person aware that, his attendance has fallen below
And maybe what you ought, in my opinion, and I just get one vote here, but maybe what you ought to do is you ought to call this individual first and just say, we've noticed that you've missed over 50%. All right, is that okay with the board? Because I hate to take it to the city council until we
Too
know
early?
Too
No,
early.
that's fine.
I'd rather
I don't
give
have a
him.
problem with that.
I'd rather give him plenty of opportunity to at least think about it before somebody calls him and. Would you feel comfortable doing that?
Colin, I can do that.
On one of the other boards I serve on, the administrative staff actually gives a report at the end of each year to the appropriate board members to talk about attendance. And basically what it says is, we just want to make sure that your commitment to the board is still there, that you do want to serve an additional year. We hope that you do, but just realize this is what the regulations are, and this is where we feel you've fallen short in what we have seen today. And please let us know if you would like to continue to serve. And one board member that we gave that notice to got a little bit offended, and she eventually quit. But at the same time, she missed almost 70% of the meeting. So I think she made the proper evaluation, and she decided she'd leave. But again, it's something where you're asked to serve the city and the citizens on a board like this, and it's not an effort. It's an effort on my part to get to every meeting, but I make that part of my schedule that I've got to be here. Now I may get here late, but I do get here. I hope others, and I commend Todd. You travel a good bit, and you've really got to jockey your schedule around.
It's a commitment, like you said.
And same thing with Chris. I know he travels.
There should be a fine if you miss March. That's my birthday month. So they'll probably go after.
It's my birthday month too.
Let's send out a
Did I miss that month?
Yeah.
Well, that's maybe
Maybe that's
why.
why.
That's why. See?
But
All right, I think we have a point on this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How about the open vacancy?
I
That's so cool.
had called him right after it opened and said, I'd love to talk. He sent me a text message and said, what's the best day for me to call you? I gave him all the best hours to call during the week. I never heard from him, so a couple weeks ago I called and left him another message and I haven't heard since. So he certainly, and maybe he just hasn't come, you know, and again, I don't feel like it's our job to
Right.
push him into doing something before he's ready.
My suggestion would be, would you be willing to send him an email, at least get it in writing? You've contacted him.
I would be more than happy to if somebody could give me that email.
Sure.
Yeah, I think
Has-
it's a great approach, actually.
If you're talking about the new
No.
member?
The vacancy.
No, we're trying
Joe
to
Longoria.
talking to the council,
I don't-
Joe Longoria.
I don't
about the
have his
vacancy.
email.
Oh, it hasn't even, there has not even been an appointment yet? I don't even,
No,
that,
no.
that was, I thought you were talking about a new member
It's
who
been months.
didn't
Well,
show up.
Well,
Okay.
whenever her last, she was here in September,
Right.
and so she let him know sometime around October 1st.
Right. And I think it really in September she let him know, because
You think what?
she let me know in September.
Oh,
was moving.
she sent him an email. I mean, he's
aware.
he's well aware.
Sure.
And
But he's
again,
probably not
maybe-
aware that it's creating an issue for
No,
the board.
that's-
But and again, maybe this email ought to come from staff and not me. Because
Well, what I will do is speak with the city clerk.
Okay.
She will, she's the keeper of the board's list, so she will contact.
okay,
I would just like them to express, if I may, that, you know, this is a vacancy that, on this type of board is pretty crucial. We need to get that filled. We've had a couple meetings now where we've operated with the minimum, and that's,
because I'd have felt bad today if this guy would have had to leave.
sure.
I mean, it's just that's not fair to anybody.
Or worse, that one of us had to excuse himself because.
Yeah, because you knew him, or he
Right.
built your house or something.
Right. So that's what really bothers me, if that happened.
Okay.
And they still may have built your house.
Don't ask those questions.
So you would get the city clerk to contact?
I will remind the city clerk to contact.
Yeah, I think it'd be better coming from the city than from us, since we're all just appointed.
And it makes a big difference to you, so.
Is there a motion to
Christmas
instruct
gifts.
Pardon me?
instruct staff to inquire into
Yes,
the status of the
yes,
appointment
correct.
and report back?
Is that a motion?
How about we have that
Yeah.
motion and,
I'll second that.
No, you made the motion and I'll second it.
I just made it.
I seconded it.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of staff handling this, raise your right hand. Opposed,
Unanimous.
Now, what's she handling again? Vote on
She's
it.
gonna contact the city clerk, and the city clerk is gonna send an email out to
Joe.
Councilman Longoria, and just to find out how things are with the appointee, to
Do we have a
replace
vote on Jim's issue?
Nancy.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
Yeah.
Do we have to make a motion for that?
Well,
We did on that, so.
I'd like to make a motion
Yes, sir.
that you contact board member Hilly as sweet as you can, and just make sure that he's happy being on the board. And we'd love to have him back.
Okay.
I need a second.
Provided he,
Meets the attendance requirements.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, that he needs to be aware now
Yeah.
of the attendance requirements.
And, you know, and maybe this isn't for him. I mean, who knows?
Is this all part of your motion?
No, I've already made it. I just need a second.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
should wait for this.
You were in discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already done it. All in favor of Angela doing this, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. You got another job.
Okay. And we do have a third issue. We have we have election, but again, I think our
We decided-
proponent was to,
Yeah.
I just
That's
want
part
to make
of
sure.
being held up because of this
Well,
vacancy.
Well, I think that's also something I want to make sure you mention, is that, we want to make
That's a
sure
good
there's a
point.
full
Well, I-
board here before
I
we
would
have
assume
an
he didn't
election.
come tonight because he saw this. That'd be my
So in the meantime,
But do we want to try to find out about the vacant seat before our next meeting? What?
If we can.
So if let's just say the city clerk contacts him and we don't get a response back within 2 weeks, Chairman, will you then contact him?
I will be more than happy to. If you don't, I'm sure you all will hear something. If you don't, I will contact him for a third time.
No, the third time I would propose that you come here to the city council meeting and fill out a public comment card and make it known.
We have somebody. Can we turn this out? Let's make it a motion to adjourn.
No. We asked Todd
All
to
in
do
favor
this.
of adjournment, raise your right hand.